Nick Clark, welcome to eTown.
Hey,
You
man.
sound great.
Thanks,
It's
buddy.
funny, I was thinking about all the music that Shovels and Rope makes. Like, it's just two of them, and they're making all this sound, all this stuff. You're doing the same thing. You're really getting so much out of that harmonica in Iraq. You're such a great harp player.
Oh, thanks, man.
And to keep that finger picking going with your guitar and sing and play the harp. It's a big sound for one person.
Oh, thanks,
a
man.
lot.
I got it from Johnny Long
Yeah.
and Ray Bonneville.
Yeah, there you go. Those are two great musicians, great singers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's so cool that you have that as a background and that I know who they are.
I know, man. We got a lot of friends, man.
Yeah, we have a lot of friends in common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So was I right about that whole thing about school was not really your thing?
Oh, man.
Not so much. Yeah.
Oh, it was bad.
Yeah.
The courts got involved. The cops got involved.
Oh yeah, because you didn't show up.
I said, no.
Okay. When you were like what, 8th grade or something like that?
Yeah. Even before then,
Okay.
I was a brat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it must have been something made you a brat. Were people mean to you, or you just didn't?
Yeah, I was always a little mean on myself.
Yeah.
And it was I have like I'm like introverted. Like this is different because you guys are there and I'm up here. But in real life, I'm like, oh my God, get away from me. There's so many people.
Yeah.
And I always had that. And so school was like a lot of that,
Yeah.
There was, back then, bullying has gone online, but back then, everyone had to take their lumps. I wasn't like totally bullied, but that plus the stuff that was the way I would talk to myself in my head made it hard.
Yeah, you made it hard on yourself too.
Yeah.
Well, so you found the harmonica, you started playing harp, and I imagine that most people in 7th and 8th grades don't find their way to the Staples singers or to Elvin Bishop or to Muddy Water. How did you find all those records?
Oh, so it was my family. So when we would go from my cousins lived in the Springs.
Yeah.
And so we would, do the trek over there from Denver, and we would listen to all my grandma's music. So it'd be Fats Domino and Ray Charles and Marvin Gaye and all that stuff. And this guy from New Mexico named Roberto Grego, who's like he's bigger than Elvis in my family. So
Wow.
I was always attached to my elders' music more
That's
than
cool.
anything.
Yeah. And so did you have any friends your age who were into that same stuff?
No.
No. Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay.
It was, this is a funny story. So I have one friend who's still my closest friend from 3rd grade. I gave him a copy of the new CD, and I felt so, nervous.
Anxious, yeah.
I know, because he was before music, he
Yeah.
knew me,
Yeah.
And he doesn't listen to this stuff. But he's a close friend. I was so scared to
Yeah.
give him the CD.
And so far, so good. You haven't heard from him?
I haven't spoken to him since.
Yeah. So it's a story that's in process.
Yeah.
Well, next time you come back, you can let me know.
Give me the update.
Give me the update. To be continued. Okay. Well, I want to ask you a little bit about, we were talking about family and your niece and your nephew. And is it your niece who did the album cover art for your record?
For my first record.
Your first record,
Yeah,
yeah.
she did the album art for it. Yeah.
And Jim Pugh was mentioning that you just played in Children's Hospital.
Yeah.
And is that something you have done before, or you do?
I've done it a little bit in the Children's Hospital in Denver.
Yeah.
And then this is my second time out in Pittsburgh for their Children's Hospital. So I've done it a little bit here and
And
there.
how did that happen? Because it's not a place where people go to get a gig.
Yeah.
generally.
Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
My dad, me and him were talking records, and he goes, there's this Taj Mahal record that's a children's record, and I can't remember the name of it. And my dad has a tendency to exaggerate or completely make things up. And I was like, yeah, right, dude. But it's real. It's a real Taj Mahal record. And it was because in the blues, most people have this this concept of blues of being really low down, and which it is, But there's also
There's a sweet side too.
Elizabeth Cotton,
Yeah.
Mississippi John Hurt.
Totally.
And I'm a big old softy.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, I could do blues that way for families and kids.
Yeah, that's cool. And Taj Mahal is a great person to mention because I hear his influence in your playing and in your singing, and
thanks, man.
that kind of that there's a kind of a bounce that almost has that Caribbean feel to it. That's
Absolutely.
an island vibe that Taj certainly has.
Absolutely, man. I used to, until a couple weeks ago, actually, I would play that guitar with a chorus pedal, which
Yeah,
is like
just
his
more
sound.
like Taj,
And
yeah.
I was like, man, I gotta get out of this, man. If he hears me live, he's gonna be like, listen here, man.
You're stepping on my turf here, buddy.
Yeah, exactly.
So making a record with the Little Village Foundation folks was a good experience.
Oh, great experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should be working really hard to be like the employee of the month at some fast food place. That's what, like, my education level, that's where I'm at. But thanks to Little Village, I can be an artist, you know?
Wow.
There's this quote by Charles Bukowski.
You're about to quote Charles Bukowski?
I don't mean to bring
Okay.
up a misogynist drunk, but he has one of these quotes that says, if you got 4 walls and a roof, you got a chance. And that's how I feel about Little Village. When you have a community and that is really honest and caring about, music and art and making the world a better place, when you have something like Little Village as an artist, you have a chance.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, hats off to Jim and co. But, I also, I can tell, despite your lack of respect for the institutions of education, you're a curious guy.
Yeah.
You've educated yourself in lots of ways. You're obviously somebody who reads and listens widely.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, what's turning you on these days? Like, what's really lighting you up? Either music or ideas or anybody you've been bumping into lately?
Don't ask that, man.
Really?
Don't.
Okay.
Because I have a lot of free time and I'll walk around just thinking about that kind of stuff,
Okay,
All
right.
I'll say this, though. What really gets me going right now is what I'm supposed to do as an artist, right? Because I don't feel like... I'm not here to make art. I'm here to, express my emotions through art, no offense, but more Nina Simone, less Bob Dylan, He crafts, but there's a distance, right? Because he's making great art, and Nina doesn't. It's not about, what you guys think. She's up there, letting it go.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to do.
Wow, it's so interesting that you think of those guys as being polar opposites.
Well, they're similar, right? But there is a distance between the two of them.
Yeah, I think I can see that. I'm going to have to ponder that, which is good.
Yeah.
That's what I was after. I wanted
Yeah.
something I could chew on for a little
Yeah.
while.
And then Taj Mahal, Jonathan Richman, Vic Chestnut, Mavis Staples. Those are my heroes. That's what I'm trying to do.
Wow. Good for you. Those are some true North Stars for you.
Yeah.
So listen, as a young person, I don't even know how old are you now?
Oh, I'm 27. I'm almost 30.
You're 27 years old. Wow. Okay. Wow. You better get busy, buddy.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
looking bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, we're going to get back to music. Nick, it's great to
Yeah.
meet you. Great to have you here, and congratulations.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Let's get back to music. Nick
Let's
Clark.
jam. Let's jam.
Yeah.